I know I do.
Yeah, here we go. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us for another episode of Rockland's News. Today I'm just your producer, Tom Osa, but I'd like
It
to...
just shut down, Tom.
What just shut down? What
My
just shut down?
phone.
Okay, so we
My
just
tablet.
instantly turned this into a talk show. So we have our morning newscaster, Robert Jowaiszas. Thank you for being on Rockland News today, Robert.
Thank you very much, Rocklanders. My apologies. I had a nice script there to read from Mr. Tom Osa. My tablet, even though I was charging it, stayed at 1% and it just died. So I know I won't be paid this week, but we can have a talk show. Go ahead, Tom.
Exactly. All right. So what I'm going to do is just to flip this around because, and Robert, you could tag along with the news on your phone and everything, but I'll read off the morning news and then we'll go back and forth on various things. So the first unfortunate news item is that the Rockland Post is reporting a serious overnight crash on the New York State Thruway. One person was killed and two others were injured early Sunday on the northbound Thruway between exits 15 and 15A. Emergency crews were dispatched around 1:15 a.m. with multiple EMS agencies, firefighters, Rockland paramedics, and state police responding. And the report says that one patient suffered severe traumatic injuries and was pronounced dead, while two others were taken to the hospital in stable condition. State police are investigating the cause of the crash. This was also reported by Mid-Hudson News. State police say that it was 64-year-old Guido DeCastro of Hewitt, New Jersey. He was killed early Sunday in the two-car crash on the northbound I-287 ramp leading to the I-87 split. Investigators say that a Honda Odyssey had stopped on the center shoulder, partly in the travel lane, when Castro's Mini Cooper struck it from behind. He was extricated. He was taken to Good Samaritan Hospital in Suffern, and then he was pronounced dead. The Honda driver and a 13-year-old passenger suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The investigation is ongoing. And Robert, I find that this is something it's a tragedy, and I can actually relate literally in multiple cases to terrible traffic accidents. Even last year, we had a close friend that was killed in a traffic accident, pretty much exactly where that happened. Steve Redner was killed in a traffic accident in a very similar location. So it's I'd say it's just a horrible thing that happens, and I'm hoping that in Rockland's initiative this year, along with Rockland News, is traffic safety. So have you seen a lot of these traffic accidents happening over the last year, 2 years?
Probably quite often when I go out. Oh, here we go. It just came up. Yeah, probably too often, I would say, in Rockland. Now, as far as percentage of drivers, I don't know if it's younger drivers or has anything to do with looking down at their phones. Tom, is that legal or illegal now as far as phone usage and cell phone use when driving? Do you know?
Definitely illegal and definitely finable at very least.
Right, and you still see that, but I think too many car accidents. I think we also have problems right on infrastructure. So roads are being fixed, potholes redeveloped, and I also think a lot of people, too many people, don't pay attention while they're driving. I think that, but I agree with you. When you look on the news, there are too many fatal crashes. So yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Where are you now? What did you just get off of the Kilburn crash details, right?
Yeah. So the next one is the environmental volunteer nominations. You want to take that one?
Rockland County is that. Do you mind if I take over Rocklanders? And my apology for my tablet going blank. The Rockland County is asking residents to help spotlight people doing local environmental work. The county is taking nominations for the 2026 Outstanding Environmental Volunteer Award, recognizing adult Rockland residents who have contributed through conversation, advocacy, and community service. Prior nominees who were not selected can be nominated again. Good, giving civic groups, neighbors, and municipalities another chance to honor volunteers whose work often happens behind the scenes. That's amazing because unfortunately, this time I'm without a vehicle. I think Tom knows the reason for that, being disabled. And it's just amazing the mess I always see. So, Tom, take it over again. The phone went out. Go ahead.
All right. Rockland County Biz Journal's latest business roundup tracks the continuing growth of New York's legal cannabis market. Now, I don't know about this cannabis, ladies and gentlemen. So, just proceed with caution. Says, updated Cannabis Control Board rules for showcase events and tax revenue figures. The report says that showcase events now come with detailed permit limits, partner requirements among licensed retailers, cultivators and processors, and fee structures. The broader business takeaway is that cannabis is moving from startup mode into a more structured, regulated industry. In the Mid-Hudson region, 79 dispensaries had generated more than $13 million in cannabis tax revenue through early April. And there are a variety of cannabis shops in Rockland County. The three main ones I would say is The Flowery, located in Haverstraw, New York. You got Treehouse Cannabis, located in Nyack. And then you have 202 Cannabis, which is on Route 202 in Garnerville. So, and they really,
If you don't me interrupting, Tom, what do you think as far as the revenue taxes and how that's helped this county in general, as far as the dispensaries, the opening of cannabis shops? Personally, do you happen to know about that? Do you think it was a good idea?
That's a great question. And I did have a lot of conversations with several individuals that became owners of cannabis stores. For instance, Gregory and Milka Pereira, located at 202 Cannabis, they told me, and we have some interviews on our Rockland News podcast. You head over to Apple Podcast, you get the full interview with the owners of 202 Cannabis. And they talked about the amount of regulatory hurdles that they had to overcome in order to be able to open up the shop. So compared to, for instance, Colorado, which is basically the model for the cannabis industry nationwide.
Oh, right. And that's been legal for how long, Tom, as far as the Colorado is concerned? Like forever?
I would say, no. I'd say like 5 to 7 years, something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, before that it was, and the other component of this is on the federal level, it was classified as Schedule 1, as a Schedule 1 narcotic. So it's basically,
oh, absolutely.
Let's put it this way. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you got a SWAT team ready to take down 2 people doing drugs. Okay, one is doing heroin in apartment A, and one is smoking a joint in apartment B. Because the drug was Schedule 1, same effect. Like, just take down a person doing the cannabis, same as the heroin. So now it's a little bit like, okay, the heroin is a little bit more bad. And now cannabis, which has been reclassified as Schedule 3, that means it's not as big of an offense. It's like a violation. It's like, you're smoking a joint. We're the feds and we don't care. That's basically what it is. But it also opens the door for universities and other scientific organizations to study cannabis. And again, I don't know much about this cannabis thing. I really don't. But the thing is
I don't know about universities, because if the kids are always stoned trying to do their studies, that'd be a very difficult thing for them to graduate, right?
Who says they weren't already?
Oh,
that was a joke.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
That was no, that was a joke. Yes, we at Rockland News care very much about educating people about the cannabis. Anyway, so the point is that it's definitely, it's something that's going to bring in a significant amount of revenue in New York State. But I'm going to get a little bit like the Godfather here, and I think Robert can agree with me on this. Is like, we want to keep it away from the kids, and that's it. We're not going to mention the rest of that, what he said in that movie, because that was bad. But it was like, we keep it away from the kids. I agree with that premise. That's
right.
I'm going to take that next article there, Robert.
Oh, I'm without it. You'll have to continue, sir. My apologies.
Nyack News and Views is focusing on the NY17 Democratic primary, one of the region's most closely watched political contests. Early voting began Saturday, June 13th, with primary day set for Tuesday, June 23rd. The district includes Rockland, much of Westchester, and part of the southern Dutchess area. 5 Democrats are running: Effie Guadalupe, Philip Staley, Kate Conley,
Mm-hmm.
Beth Davidson, John Capello, and Michael Sachs, with Davidson and Conley described as leading contenders. The winner will face Republican incumbent Mike Lawler in November, making this a local primary with national political attention.
Now, Tom, do you think possibly in the near future we'll be, not necessarily myself, but interviewing some of the candidates come closer to election time? What do you think? Do you have any ideas?
The wise men said, "We'll see."
Okay, I guess that's a leaving on pending.
Actually, what it means is I have no freaking clue, but we'll find out because we do have a few things coming up. There's the possibility of getting together a few debates. We have reached out to various candidates, but it's nothing that I can mention on the show right now. I do appreciate you asking me because it's good to let our listeners know that there might be something coming down the pike in terms of the election season, which is starting to heat up. And remember, for those of you that are, either Democrat or Republican, Green Party, Working Family Party, the Conservative Party, the rent is too damn high party, whatever party you're doing.
Cost of living party, absolutely.
Cost of living party. Make sure that you get out there and vote. I believe that the Democratic primary is on June 23rd. So that's next Tuesday, June 23rd. You can certainly go to Rockland County's government website and find out where it is that you can vote. It's usually right in your neighborhood. Another thing that I noticed over the weekend is it is heating up with the local candidates in up in Stony Point.
Oh my God, yes.
I've never seen this before. They're not even at the point where put up the candidates. They're fighting who's going to be the representative for each particular neighborhood, like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. I saw at least like 20 or 30 representatives that are pushing to be representatives for their zone. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're not even in office. You're just recording the votes and you're fighting with each other. So I don't even know.
Didn't you have that voting guide? Remember that voting guide was on Facebook and you commented on that?
That's right.
So much is being thrown out there already, right?
Yeah, we had the voter guide out there. We'll probably do another one. It's amazing,
Mm-hmm. A good thing also with this station on the Rockland News, Tom, I guess myself too, it's a non-bias, and he's very good and neutral at interviewing whoever would like to. He did a wonderful story, I'm sure a lot of people listening right now, with Mayor Joe Rand, about those young ladies, students that got lost in the tunnel in Nyack and stuff like that. So it's wonderful that you reach out your hand to anybody affiliated or a mayor of any village or county. So I thought was a wonderful story that you did.
So it's funny that you mentioned that because we could talk about that for a little bit. But so what's your take on that? And just for those of you that are listening, 71 teenage young ladies were found in the it's not the sewers of Nyack, but it's the culverts of Nyack. It's basically like the storm water drains underneath Nyack. And it started out, they were in Memorial Park, 71 of them, and they went into the culverts and they got lost. And I guess somebody was walking by and they heard underneath the the ground, it's like, hello? Can somebody help us?
That's true. Underground.
I don't know. We're very frightened, but we're not going to admit it.
That's right.
And they got the kids out. There's video out there, courtesy of Frank LeBono, that's basically seeing them walk and march out. Not a spot on them. Not a spot on them. No dirt, no nothing. I don't know if they brought out clothes for them to change into or whatever. It was a very, very, it was a surreal scene. 71.
But you know what, Thomas? I think a lot of I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Go ahead.
The thing that is right, you know what, is a lot of the headlines almost like an exclamation point capitals said sewage system. And again, you spoke to Mayor Joe Rand and he made more specifics. It's a beautiful, the architecture, and again, the infrastructure, obviously, because Nyack is a beautiful old vintage city. But, The kids are going to be kids, and Dora the Explorers, I guess. And no, that wasn't a safe thing to do. How they stayed clean, I don't know. But yes, it was scary. But I'll tell you something, Tom. That went national. That was in CBS, ABC, all the local, I think, big newspapers like the Daily News, the Times, the Post did a story on that. But the way they made it seem like it's in those movies where those young kids go into coal mines and the coal mine collapses.
Right, exactly.
Have that scuba gear. They have to find them. So they kind of did that a little bit hyper. But it looks like maybe you think, Tom, that's going to be done as a movie. What do you think? That they're going to kind of improvise with the sewage closing and these girls are talking in different languages and can't find themselves.
I got a feeling that Milla News is on that. So if you go on Facebook and you do a search for Milla Millions, Milla Millions, he's actually doing videos. Like he's standing there, he's like, we're gonna find out what happens in the culverts underneath Nyack, and then like he's like running up toward the culverts. It's like, stay tuned for the next episode. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So
has anybody spoken, Tom, to the young ladies themselves, the little girl? I mean, like, if I don't know if we've talked to supervisors. I know you spoke to Mayor Joe Rand, but has anybody actually spoken to the kids, or are they off limits and nobody's allowed to talk to them? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and I'll say that thus far we haven't heard anything from anyone related to or the teenagers themselves. Obviously, they're teens, so we're going to protect identities and everything. You can read the full.
Sure, I understand.
On Rockland's News, we have the story, and Caesar A was the person that did the story and made sure that the pictures of the women's faces were blacked out so that they couldn't identify them. So that Rockland News was very careful with that piece. But the big question is, and even Mayor Joe brought this up, we were having conversations with several people over the weekend. Where were the chaperones? So it can only be
right. If anybody hasn't heard that interview with Tom, when did you interview Joe Rand?
It was last, I want to say it was last Thursday. So that
was the day of the incident or after the day after?
It was like the day after.
Yeah. So anybody that hasn't heard that, I'm not selling this station or Tom or anything. It was a wonderful interview, and it's the mayor of Nyack. So, I mean, he is the big dude. He's the one that supervised it. And he was very cordial in the way he talked about it, very relaxed about him being a knucklehead, and everything was preserved. So Tom was the only person that interviewed Mayor Rand that day. So it was a wonderful interview, and he was the big guy. So I guess that goodness he doesn't have to use his inhaler today, so he doesn't have to worry about that. So
indeed, most indeed. So, and the other part of this is we're going to be following up on finding out where the chaperones were. So that's the thing that we and also municipalities are certainly concerned about, because it's one thing for kids to get lost and oops, and thankfully it wasn't a tragedy, but there were people that were responsible for the teenagers and really trying to find out what went wrong. Did they lead them in there? Did they just say, oh yeah, we're just gonna watch the riverfront and the 71 teens run off? But you gotta like imagine, like, if you're looking over the riverfront and there's 71 people behind you and you're like, wow, that's a great river, and then you turn around and they're gone, you'd
it's
probably call someone or do something to find where 71 teens disappear. They didn't just dematerialize. Like, the laws of physics don't.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
they might have been Knicks fans.
Maybe they were Knicks fans. Yeah, there's like big screen TVs underneath the culverts somewhere. And by the way,
they weren't paying attention.
We do not field conspiracy theories on Rockland's News. That being said, I did have a conversation with a few friends yesterday and one enemy. Actually, not an enemy, just a rival. And they opines that maybe there's more to those culverts than meets the eye. Someone suggested that perhaps they were checking in on those locations underneath Nyack as a bomb shelter.
No, really?
It was just speculation. And again, this is I don't want to even call it a conspiracy theory. It's not a theory. It's like a hypothesis, like, oh, maybe this, maybe that, maybe the other. It's
Right.
somebody just
Right.
said maybe it's like it's a bomb shelter that was built, many generations ago, and
Oh, right. Right.
and they may be just checking in on, to see if that's like if something happens, like, maybe that's a place where various individuals go. So
Yeah, that's a very old. It's a very old village, right? So everything is infrastructure. Like they had the underground railroad. So you might be right. So who knows? 100 years ago, what they were predicting, or there could have been, I don't know, civil war or whatever. But that's a good point. Maybe like they were just exploring. They saw something. I don't know how many people, or is this the first time young kids or people in general have ever walked a half a mile underneath the town of or the village of
apparently.
Nyack. So do you think this is the first time that someone ever walked under there, or is this because it's 71 young lady students,
I
female
think I
students? I
think
want
it's
to
the
make sure I
first
say that
time
right.
that people walk down there with a dress on in a long time. Because when you're getting
Oh,
ready to go underneath the culverts of the sewers of the stormwater drains of Nyack, and you wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, I am getting ready to go underground. You're not gonna wear a
that's right.
dress. You're gonna wear like like combat boots and like
That's
real
right.
cargo pants, and you're ready for action. You want to go. I mean, the only person that could really pull it off is what is that character? What was it from the video games? Ah, Tomb Raider. Lara.
Oh, Laura Croft.
Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. And actually our
Oh
producer
man,
is named Lara. So Lara, maybe
that's right.
we
I
should
don't know
call
if it's
your
spelled the same way, but go ahead.
Lara can't hear us right now, but maybe we should call Lara like podcast raider or something like that. But yeah, it's like
Hmm.
if you go underneath the sewers of Nyack or the stormwater drains of Nyack, you're certainly not going to wear a dress. So it's just a very odd
Okay.
situation, and I hope that it gets resolved. Like, we got to find out what.
What was the average age, Tom, of the girls? How old were they? I forgot the average age.
Hard to say from the quick video that Frank Labono did, which is available on Facebook. You can see them marching out. Um, if I were to take a guess, and 15, 16, something like that.
Well, these days with 15 and 16-year-old girls that watch TikTok or whatever, fashion is important. So I think they wanted to dress nicely before they went underground. I
That
think
could,
because
yeah,
fashion's important
you know, do your hair and
to make
nails,
money.
all that. I know it's
That's
absurd.
right.
You got, can you do the next item or you want me to do it?
Go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead. You can do it.
Muncie Scoop provides a detailed voter update. Oh, we already did that one. Rockland County Times. Rockland County Times is highlighting and kudos Rockland County Times for keeping this in the news because it was reported a week ago. And apparently you just got to it. Rockland County Times is highlighting a tourism and culture boost. The Miss New York and Miss New York teen competitions are coming to Rockland
Oh, cool.
from June 25th through June 27th. More than 50 contestants are expected for a week of competition, cultural exchange, and community engagement. Ticketed evening events will be held at Rockland Community College's Cultural Arts Theater. County and college leaders say the event gives Rockland a chance to showcase local businesses, arts venues, and community pride while contestants and visitors experience the county beyond the stage. And Peekskill Herald is looking at how the city is preparing to share in the World Cup excitement that's happening pretty much right now. With the tournament
Mhm.
underway, the Herald reports that residents will have ways to take part locally, including watch parties, soccer related events, and community celebrations. The story frames the World Cup as more than a sports event. It is a chance for local businesses, families, fans, and community groups to gather around a global moment without leaving Peekskill. The broadcast line is simple. The World Cup may be international, but Peekskill is making it local. I was very proud of them that they did that. Very proud of them.
Mhm.
And notably, the Nanuet Chamber of Commerce on this side of the river, they're hosting a watch party. I'm actually you can learn more about this at nanuetchamber.com. In the event section, the Rockland's Global Rhythms Soccer Festival block party is going to be on Sunday, July 19th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Main Street from Market Street to Prospect Street. There's going to be exhibitors, live entertainment, music, indoor and outdoor dining, kids games, and a free soccer clinic for all ages.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, sponsored by the
Well, my
Nanuet.
news came up again.
You got it?
Can I ask you some questions? What do you think about the Miss New York coming to Rockland?
Yeah, it's
As far
cool.
as in today's culture and that kind of thing, do you think it's going to draw some people? Do you think it's going to be good for the local economy? And how do you think that's going to,
I would
people are going to
say.
react to that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it's an event, so it's something that they have an organization. I mean, it's not like a. I mean, I'm being a little bit off the cuff here, but it's not like local dude on the corner said, "Hey, let's get a bunch of women together and put them on stage and do a competition." This was an organization that puts it together, so it seems that there's some formality, which I appreciate.
Mhm.
But yeah, it should be good. I don't know what the actual attendance will be. What I do know is that there is a lot of buzz around those competitions. So I imagine that
Yeah,
it's going
because
to be.
50 contestants are expected for a week. Now, do all these, and I'm looking at it right now, so sorry, people, about my talent, Dinah. So more than 50 contestants are expected for a week of competition. Do all these contestants have to be? Well, I guess not, because if it's Miss New York and Miss New York team, obviously they can be from anywhere, right? In New York.
Anywhere in New York. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. It's so yeah. I admittedly don't know too much about it, but it sounds like it's going to go well.
But as far as tourism, I think the number one thing with Tom, knowing him for such a long time, the importance of tourism in Rockland is like number one in his priorities. Of course, he's Mr. Rock and Roll, so it's Rockland. But this does promote tourism, and I think as tourism, I'm sure the local restaurants, stores are salivating now, hoping this will come because it'll bring in a lot of different people from other states, who knows, other countries, and hopefully this will be televised, parts of it, or covered locally. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I would agree. And, definitely have some media coverage over there. Admittedly, not sure if Rockland News is going to cover that story because we're, really news, traffic,
Mhm.
weather, sports, but we're starting to get into other
Right.
things. I mean, for instance, on Saturday, we were at NoCo Joe's in Piermont doing the Knicks watch party. And our team won, right, Robert?
Yes,
Pretty
they did.
psyched
I
about that.
remember. I'm that old that I remember when they won it in 1973
Mm-hmm.
and 1969 and 73, and the kind of money that they put into that team. And I feel bad with people, let's say maybe your age, because you had to go through the 80s and the 90s. Yes, they made it to the finals, but thank goodness team spirit prevailed. So thank goodness, and I'm sure a lot of these local bars. And I live next to a restaurant bar right next to me, and I could hear it from my window. So it's fantastic that people are united. You see it on the front page and of all the local, media outlets and newspapers. That's very cool. So
Yeah.
things like that are very nice to happen in New York. And there's a big, and then now everybody's a Knicks fan. You go to stores, restaurants, everybody's all of a sudden a Knicks fan, which is cool. I like to
Without a
see that.
doubt, yeah. And it's
Hmm.
I remember back in '94, I was doing overnight inventory at Blockbuster Video when that game was on, the final, and
They still
heartbreaker.
had videos, huh? Oh
Y
my goodness.
yeah, and we we had to use the antenna to kinda, like, move it around in order to get the signal. Yeah,
Right?
and we were able to see the heartbreak, and then we were like, "Geez, we shouldn't have moved the antenna." And, yeah,
Hmm.
it's I what I did, I basically, and it's pure. I want to say this for the record. It is pure superstition. It is not based in any way, shape, or form in fact or anything like that. But just to be safe, I did not, even though we were at the Knicks watch party, I left. We did not watch the I did not watch the final game on purpose because I just wanted it. It's like one of those things, just let it happen and then watch it afterwards. So I sat down last night, I watched the final, and I was able to finally celebrate uh just kind of like finally it happened. Yes. So very
Are
happy
you
about
only
that.
superstitious with sports? Are you a superstitious person in general, or just your favorite team and just let it happen and you walk away?
I would say I'm outwardly a tiny bit superstitious when it comes to sports. As far as my other
Mm,
superstitions, these days I keep them very close to my chest. So it's,
that's good.
yeah, exactly. Like we don't exactly have a bearing on how much we affect
Outcomes.
outcomes
Yeah, the
that we're not
outcome. Yeah.
physically or verbally or socially affecting. So obviously, I have zero effect on the outcome of the Knicks game, but it was more just one of those silly things. Like, for instance, when the pitcher just like jumps over the white line when he goes to the mound and back, like, don't touch the white line. It was one of those things. It was like, all right, look, if
Well, I
there's
think don't you know James Dolan? So I think you do have an effect on what happens on the game. You two are big media
true.
people, so I think you might know James Dolan, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
He's the owner of the team.
correct. Yeah. So he was very happy about things happening. So, and apparently they're going to, I mean, not that they're talking about this right now, but they're eventually going to be shooting for another title run. But right now it's just happy that the Knicks won. And yeah, it's a cause for celebration. I'm ordering my Knicks jersey in celebration of that. And
You're not gonna have Osa on the back of it. You can't do that,
no,
Narcissist.
no,
If
no.
you can have Osa, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know what number you give yours. What's your favorite number,
Well,
by the
I'm
way?
gonna get Robinson's jersey, Mitchell Robinson, number 23.
Oh, cool,
Yeah, so
cool. I like that.
23. Jordan Robinson really didn't score any points, especially during the last game, but he was a
Hmm.
consistent presence in the middle, and he was really the only answer for Wemby. Wemby was basically he was dominating the paint. He was, I mean, that was the most difficult player, and kudos to the Spurs for really putting up some effort. But
Hmm.
Wemby was just an absolute beast in the middle, and it was really heartbreaking. Every time he got the ball, he basically just kind of like flipped it in a lot of times because the dude is like 7 foot 4.5, like unbelievable. But um,
Isn't
toward
that amazing? His build, and usually you would think. Remember when we were growing up, or I was in the '70s and '80s. Centers meant more, as far as rebounding and at the rim and stuff like that. And now, isn't it amazing the way he could shoot 3 pointers and the build of that guy? It's just amazing. I don't want to use the word freak, but you know what I mean. He's supernatural, correct?
right. Oh, hang on 1 minute. Something's happening here. I forgot to put do not disturb on my phone. Okay, now we're on do not disturb. Okay. Um,
Mhm.
well, I'm sorry, Robert. Say that again. I got distracted by the phone.
No, it's just saying the way he's built. Usually, when you and I were growing up, and well, I'm older than you, but let's say in the '70s, and then you grew up a little bit, I guess, in the '90s. Things like that. I think centers were it's a different position. With
Right.
the pick and roll, you were closer to the rim, and now somebody built like him in all different positions. Someone at 7'4", you would expect that to be a center. I mean, many years ago, it was like, who was that? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar type of thing. Do
Right.
that sky hook, right?
That's a great point. That's the exact frame that Wemby has. Wembyama is his
Exactly.
full name, but that's what Wemby's got
Hmm.
for a frame. So the other thing that I noticed in the game is that there's no post up on either team. Nobody, you don't have like
Right.
your post up, and I don't think I have to describe it for those of you that watch basketball, but it's like the guy that just basically he's like right outside of the paint of the center of the see, this is why we have a sportscaster, Tom Brady. He can describe this a lot better. But basically the post up guy is the guy
That's
that can get
well, we're
close to.
fans. We're fans. People are listening to fans talk, so we're not professional, right? So you're enthusiastic about what you're saying.
Yeah, but I'm starting to feel like Chris Farley when he's interviewing Michael Jordan. He's like, "You remember when you did that game with the that was cool." So but the post up guy was a staple of the 90s where he basically, you got a big guy that, leans his body backwards into as close to the basket as possible. And you got the guy
Right,
that's
right, right.
and that's not there. And it's just a different style of play. And look, I'm very happy that the Knicks won. Um, but that and I was trying to figure it out for like 3 quarters of the game. It's like something is so different that everybody's throwing up these 3 point bricks and then hoping they get the
Yeah.
rebound, but it's really that post up guy. That's the thing that's the big difference there.
Hmm.
So,
do you like the way
different
the game
styles.
is played now with all these 3-pointers? Like maybe somebody as old as me, or maybe a little bit older than you, kind of missed that maybe team basketball and more passing and more. But now it's, I guess you know what it is. I think younger generation, and that's generalizing. That I guess attention span is about half a second. So this way you have 3-pointers and running back and back and forth and stuff like that. Do you enjoy this style of game, or the
No, I
fact that
don't.
they're winning, or
Yeah, I don't.
really?
I do not enjoy it. I do not. I like, and this is just probably a product of my age. I'm at the ripe old age of 50. I really, I grew up with the post up game, and just rough
Me
and
too.
tumble in the paint. And once in a generation, you got a Michael Jordan that comes along that, it's just art. Like, just getting up above the rim and being able to, like, whip and whoop and whatever. It's
Are
amazing.
you old enough? Did you ever follow a Dr. J,
Of
Julius
course,
Irving?
Julius
I don't
Irving,
know.
baby.
You,
Yeah. Dr. J.
the ABA. That's where they had the 3-pointers and that crazy dunks. And
Yep.
then you have, of course, he was with, what was he with, Philadelphia, I think, and
76ers, yeah.
Jordan. And that style of yeah, that was just more of a physical. You're absolutely right, presence.
Mm-hmm.
And then the centers were there in a post, and it was a pick and roll and stuff. But I'll tell you, younger generation now, if they're younger people listening to us, they're over or younger than what, 90? Just joking. I
Younger
know
than
there's
90.
young
Yeah, I would
people.
say.
That's me.
Yeah.
So that's me. But yeah, if they're younger people, I'm sure they might disagree. And it's like, who was the greatest basketball player? And of course, you and I might say Jordan, or go back to even earlier in the 70s. And now, of course, you would say LeBron James. Or now, I think it's a different generation. Now you would say somebody on different teams, but it's a different style of game. And I guess each generation. So if you have the best basketball team like in the 70s or the 80s playing against the best basketball team now, can you imagine the styles of play, against each other? That would just be amazing.
That's a great point. Yeah, the different styles of play and how that matches up. There's a whole bunch of different video games, for instance, on PlayStation, where you can change the style of play to match how you
Mm-hmm.
want to approach different teams. And I used to play NBA 2K back in the day on
Mm-hmm.
PS4, not PS5. And then when I got the PS5, I just got into, like, like for instance, Cyberpunk and Ghost of Tsushima. Right now, I'm playing Gran Turismo, the driving game. But on the PlayStation 4, I had NBA 2K, and again, very
Wow.
athletic play. You can change the style of how you want your players to approach the game. You could do a post up game, you could do a 3-pointer game, you could do a mid range, and it really depends, I think, on the physical makeup of the 5 starting guys. So if you got like a really huge bruiser that's your power forward, like for instance, like a LeBron James type, you can really push into the
Uh-huh.
paint a lot easier. If you got a
Mm-hmm.
really tall center, again, commanding the paint, you could throw in the easy layup, or be able to keep your competitors out of the paint. I'm saying it horribly, but you get what I'm saying. But when you got a smaller
Mm-hmm.
team, it means they got to run around the big guys a lot quicker and hope that they can get an open shot. And that's basically the approach that the Knicks had to employ because of Wemby, 7'4". Um,
Good point. Good point. They're how to approach it in a different way. Very good analysis. I never thought about that. Very good.
mhm. So we're just about to wind down, but anything you got going on this week? What's going on your way? You got a busy week ahead of you, Robert?
Yes, of course. Just a little. I don't want to say what I do, but part-time work and a little media stuff as
Yeah,
far as and stories. Also, I'll be going in to see I was invited to review a play, which will be cool. I'm going to go to. I guess I can say this. Go to Yankee Stadium on my birthday, June 16th, tomorrow,
great.
and we'll be going down there. I'm very passionate. If you don't want me saying hello, I'm very passionate with people at the Rockland Special Olympics.
Hmm.
And some tickets were donated to us behind home plate. They're ADA seats, and I'm taking a group of guys. They don't know where we're going to sit, and I'm also going to try to get them pictures taken on the field. I happen to know some people that work in community relations at Yankee Stadium. They're always so generous to me. And I said for my birthday, what I'd like to do the most is, I'm just that kind of person. You know me about the Special Olympics and another step at Jowadio, and Rally in the Valley was a big thing for me. But just want to give out a shout to people that I like Ross and Mike and Brian and Nikki and everybody there. I'll see you tomorrow. I can't wait to go to the game with you. And also I remember, and again, I brought this up again, Tom has been very generous with certain groups that I'm close with. And I think the Woodstock of Rockland, we talked about this last time, he gave passes out. He's always generous and said, Robert, whenever you need some help, just let me know. I'll do what I can. So I think it's very important to give exposure. And I'm like a volunteer. So with my free time, I have another part-time job. I don't want to say what I do. And I also write. But I also volunteer for local nonprofits in Rockland. So I spend a lot of that time. It means a lot to me. But I do talk to Tom, who's on the other side of the phone, about that. And he's always giving. He says, Robert, anytime you need something, and also exposure, you ever write a story or want to write a story, my bad, not enough coffee. But also talk about it like I am right now. Just please do, because it's very important to our community, which Rockland News is. It's community related, and it's very important that the average Joe, the little person, has a voice too, not just the big politicians or the millionaires in Rockland County. So I just want to say thank you, Tom Osa, for letting me shout out to my friends out there. I will be going to the game tomorrow, and I hope I have fun. Oh, I will. Of course, I always do with those people I hang out with there at Special Olympics. So, but thank you very much. So over to you, Mr. Osa.
Had some additional audio effects for that, but yeah. So, and I didn't know it was your birthday tomorrow. I didn't know it was your birthday. So happy. Yeah. I'm not going to wish you a happy birthday yet. Get through it first, and then I'll wish you happy birthday.
Oh, that's right. You're superstitious. I forgot.
You want me to live. Okay.
Yeah. You said I couldn't.
Well,
I
actually,
can't do next week's interview.
Yeah, that's an Italian superstition. It's you don't wish people happy birthday until the day of. I learned that from my my ex-fiance back in, I think, my late 20s, and thank the good Lord that it didn't happen, the marriage. But she was like, wished her happy birthday. No, you don't wish me happy birthday until after it did happen. I was like, So,
well, my age,
I'm sure she's doing well right now.
Next week.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm doing fine. But, I again, everybody, all the Rocklanders listening out there, Tom and I were improvising with the news, having fun. And my apologies for my script dying out, a little bit of technical difficulty. But thank you very much, all you Rocklanders that are listening to us.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate that very much on this beautiful June. It's the 15th, right? So that's the day before my birthday. And it's 2026, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe we'll put something out there in Rockland News wishing you a happy birthday tomorrow. But let's wait until you get there. How's that?
Okay, good. Don't say anything yet.
Don't say anything.
Wake up tomorrow. I will give you a.
Exactly.
I will give you a middle finger. No, I won't give you a middle finger. I'll give you a thumbs up. I knew it was. So I think that's subconsciously giving you a middle finger. I'm sorry. But I'll give you a thumbs up. Let you know that I woke up yesterday.
That's why we pay it forward these days. All right. So thank you to all of our sponsors on Rockland News. Thank you, Robert Jowaiszas, for being here. So I'm just going to read off the sponsors real quick for this show, as well as the many things that we do on Rockland News. You can catch all the news that matters to you most at rocklandnews.com. We publish about 500 to 600 stories per year. How about that? And a variety of topics. News, weather, traffic, sports, 71 kids underneath the culverts of Nyack. I mean, we cover it all. We also have our podcast located on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And of course, for all the news, like if you want to check something out that's happening, like breaking news, you go to our Facebook page on Rockland News, and we post regularly on there. We got 3.6 million views last year. I think something like about 144,000 views over the past 28 days, which is not too bad.
Now, Tom, if anybody has tips like the 71 lost young ladies under the tunnel, are they able to either call or send an email into you if they see some story that's newsworthy?
Yeah, send it. You could go to rocklandnews.com/alert. and you could post whatever information. It could be a request to be a guest on this show. It could be a tip. For instance,
Awesome.
we're covering Admiral's Cove and all the debacle that's happening over there. We did another story about a woman. She's getting flooding happening right outside of her condominium that she rents. It's supposedly a luxury complex, but they charge $4,000 to $5,000 in rent. And there's heating, air conditioning issues. There's the elevator. Like,
Wow.
one woman was in an elevator and it dropped 2 floors. Uh,
Oh,
mold
God.
issues, arrests. It doesn't sound like luxury to me, but we've been still taking stories from them. It's pretty absurd what's happening over there. But yeah, we are collecting information from the public. And again, all you have to do is go to rocklandsnews.com/alert.
And remember, everybody out there, your news is our news, right, Mr. Tom?
Yep. Just like Gary Gnu. Remember Gary Gnu?
Absolutely.
No GNUs is good GNUs. All right. So let me put together. Having a good time this morning. Let me thank our sponsors, and then we'll bring in the campy music that we do at the end, and thank Robert one more time. New York Boulders baseball team. They are celebrating their 15th annual season. They have a new synthetic turf that's down, and you can catch games on a regular basis. You go to nyboulders.com in order to learn more. Work Smart New York Business Boot Camp. We got another boot camp coming in probably, like, I want to say either August, September, somewhere around there. Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp for all your ice machine repair needs. Fiesta Acapulco, located in Stony Point, the best Mexican food in all of Rockland, and it's a great nightclub after hours, I have to tell you that. Kobe,
Definitely.
Kobe
Definitely.
Sushi with their jazz music lounge. They have music on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights. Mention Rockland's News and get 15% off your entire sushi order, minimum $75. Breakpoint Bowling, $2 million entertainment facility located in West Haverstraw, New York. Big screen TVs, restaurant, bar, 20 lanes of bowling. Plus, for the kids, you got an entertainment center with video games and a laser tag facility, which I plan on using myself. Whole Shop Bagels, located in Haverstraw, New York. Mention Rockland News, you get a free bagel. First time customers only. Stony Point Massage, located in Stony Point, New York. That's Kimio Matthews. UPS Store in West Haverstraw. Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy in West Haverstraw, New York. 99 Signs for all your digital billboard and portable sign needs. FZ Perfection Auto Body Repair and Clean Space Maintenance Management Company. So, Robert, this has been a great show. Thank you for being here today. And
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And for those of you that listen in today, Robert will be a regular on the Monday morning show, and he'll be delivering the news to you as it happens. So we appreciate you, Robert. And again, I'm not going to say the happy birthday until it happens, but I hope tomorrow goes well for you.
All right. I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. So here we go.